guys, I'm Steex, audio video production. Today I'm gonna compare and maybe combine together the Two Notes ReVolt Guitar with the BluGuitar AMP1 Iridium. So let me start this video saying that it's not sponsored by any brand, so Two Notes, BluGuitar, no any brand sponsored this video, so it's all from my idea basically. So why have I chosen these two pedals? Well, let me say these two are all analog pedals, all analog amplifier in pedal format. There are some differences, but there are also some similarities between the ReVolt Guitar and the BluGuitar AMP1 Iridium version. Let me say that all this routing that you can see here is basically what you can use in a live situation, and you don't need any PC, Mac or impulse responses to use in your PC or Mac because it's all here, okay? So this, as you can see, is all fully analog and you can go directly in a PA system and make some rock and roll, guys. So let me introduce the routing that I'm using because it's very important, the routing, because I'm combining also together these two pedalboards. So the video of today is not only a pure comparison, it will be a comparison at the beginning, but also I show you how to combine these two pedals together to have basically 7 different preamplifiers in your routing. Okay, in your live. So talking about the routing, I'm using my trusty Gibson Les Paul Standard with an Echo 5 pickups. I'm going directly to the input of the ReVolt Guitar, as you can see, and from the ReVolt Guitar I've connected the ReVolt Guitar to the BluGuitar in 4-cable method. And of course here on the front you have the switch to enable the 4-cable method. Why is it important to connect the 4-cable method? Well, basically with the 4-cable method you can still use both the two preamps and one amplifier. Let's go step by step. The ReVolt Guitar is a preamp, okay? It's not really a amplifier, is only a preamp and it's fully analog preamp. And as you can see, there is the tube here is a preamp tube, 𝙎𝙤𝙬𝙬 tube. So this is a preamplifier and you have 3 different channels: clean, crunch and lead. Then here is a BluGuitar AMP1 Iridium. This is a fully amplifier. It's not only a preamp. You have 4 different preamps: modern, classic, vintage and clean. And then you have the power amp, and this power amp is from the nanotube technology. As you can see, it is written here nanotube 100. Here is the tube and it's fully 100 watts of power. You have a tons of power, tons of volume, okay? Well, basically in a normal use with the Two Notes bypassed, I can use only the BluGuitar. So I can switch between which kind of preamp I want. For example, this vintage tone. And I'm using the preamp of the BluGuitar and the power amp of the BluGuitar, so all the BluGuitar. So I can also go to the clean, and I'm using the BluGuitar like a normal amplifier. But if I want to switch, for example, to the crunch of the ReVolt Guitar, I want to enable the crunch of the guitar, and contemporarily I want to bypass the preamp of the BluGuitar because I don't want in serial 2 preamp, but using the power amp of the BluGuitar. So as soon as I engage the ReVolt Guitar, I'm using the crunch of these 2 notes and the power amp, so the nanotube technology of the BluGuitar, and it's bypassed my vintage power preamp here, okay? So I can also go, for example, here on the modern, so I bypass my ReVolt and I'm using the modern preamp and power amp of the BluGuitar. And then I want to go to a clean for only the 2 notes. So you have to connect with the 4-cable method using the send and return of both the two amplifier. Then from the BluGuitar, since both the 2 units have really terrible, trust me, really terrible impulse responses, I've bypassed the impulse responses of the two units and I'm using the Two Notes Audio Engineering Torpedo Capture X because I want to load my own impulse responses. As you can see here, I have loaded two different impulse responses, WGS Reaper HP with the East Electronics R1 and the WGS Retro 30 speaker with the Lawton Audio LS208. And by the way, actually right now I'm using also some reverb and some twin tracker to have basically the stereo sound. So this is the sound without the twin tracker. In the middle. With the twin tracker. Okay, so now let's talk about the differences. Well, of course, in construction, this is a preamp and has three different channels. This is a fully amp in pedal sides and you have four different channels. You have also some tiny switch here on the side to make some adjustment of the sound. But let's compare now, for example, let's start from the clean. So let's compare the clean of the Two Notes ReVolt Guitar. Of course, you can make it also crank a bit this clean. Okay, let's bypass it, let's go to the clean. Maybe for the clean it's better to have only one track, not double track. More mids. Here you have a lot of bass. And of course you don't have the control for the mids. It's also just a bit more muffled, so it's a bit confused as clean. It's more defined, the clean of the BluGuitar, in my opinion. And I have the treble all the way open. So we are really loud. Okay, now let's crank the clean channel. I'm really loud. It's impossible to make it crank properly. Of course, it's also too much here. It's really good, in my opinion, this kind of soft saturation and I can get from the clean. Okay, now let's switch to the crunch. Here I have only one crunch channel, but here I have two different crunch channels, the vintage and the classic. So let's start with the vintage style, and this should be something like a Vox and maybe a Marshall JCM, not so pushed. BluGuitar. Just a bit more mids. Let's crank a bit more the gain. Oh. I like much more the crunch of the Two Notes. It's more organic, in my opinion. Sounds better the saturation. Let's switch to the classic. Actually, on the classic, I have also some tweaking here on the side. I have really tiny switch to change also the tone. So, for example, all the way open, it's more aggressive. Let me close. It's just a bit weaker, but also more focused on the mids. But I prefer much more on the other side. I like both. I really like the saturation here from the ReVolt guitar, the crunch here, but I like also the crunch of the classic here because it's more powerful, it's it's ready with the attack. But I like both of these two crunch. Let's now switch to the modern channel here and of course here on the lead channel. So let's start with the modern of the BluGuitar and let's create a really cool sound. Also here I have the tweaking here on the side. Okay, so all the way open. It's more scooped, it sounds more like an angle. Let's now open it. Sorry, closing. Much more mid-focused. Much more like a pushed Marshall. Let's put it in the mid zone. And this is without any boost, so let's lower just a bit the gain. Let's listen with the boost. Let me switch the impulse response because I think that with modern metal I have other impulse responses that can work here. So I can use impulse response, for example, this one. So these impulse responses are from the David Laboga tight Mamzer 30 speaker, and I've used the vintage 11 microphone by the J-Z microphone. So let's also switch on the twin tracker. Yeah, so we can listen better the sound. Let's now switch to the lead channel. Wow, too much volume. This is based on the Soldano, and it's more, I don't know how to say it in English, it's just a bit muffled in my opinion, on the bass. Even if I have really high amount of treble, and I have a lot of bass even if the knob is really low. Modern here. It's tighter here on the BluGuitar. Let's try to use the boost here. It's weaker, in my opinion. So let's listen again the model. I can also change again to more angle sound. Let's switch again impulse response. So the other preset I've made. Okay, this is with the same cabinet, the 𝙤𝙤, and I've also used another WGS Retro 30, as you can see here. Let's again put the twin tracker, and here it is. So let's try to use all at the maximum. Okay guys, so in my opinion it's a really great pedalboard, combining these two pedals with the torpedo captor. Of course you can also use not these torpedo captors, because inside the BluGuitar there are already a reactive load box, so you don't need it, but sound just a bit better with a reactive load box, because it creates more interaction like a real cabinet. Okay, so guys, let me know what you think about the comparison, which one you prefer more. In my opinion, I like much more the clean from the BluGuitar, because I think it's less boomy and you can tweak just a bit more. The crunch channel of the Two Notes is really good. In my opinion, is the best channel for this preamplifier, but at the same time I really like also the classic and the vintage crunch sound here on the BluGuitar. So they are really similar, and I like both. Regarding the modern sound, so the lead sound, I really like much more the modern sound here on the BluGuitar. It's tighter, so you can also tweak a bit more. It's more open, the sound. Here instead on the lead channel, the Soltano kind of sound, in my opinion, is just a bit more muffled, more confused, the sound, not so tight, even with the boost. So I prefer much more the sound of the BluGuitar for the lead channel. Let me know what you think about with a comment below, and I'll see you of course in the next video. Bye.